I made a video a couple of days ago where I showed the actors from The Witcher encouraging people to watch the show. And apparently the reason you should watch it, because it's probably the first show ever that champions diversity, inclusion, and equity. At least that's what the actors said. Like, one of them even said you should watch it because it has two men kissing in it. And I was like, wow, in 2022? Really? Like, it has two men kiss? I've never seen that, ever, in any show. And, I wanted to watch it. And it was horrible. I watched it with my wife. Like, even she just said, like, what is this garbage? So, I gotta say, if we ever have a child and it misbehaves, the best way to punish him, to make sure that he never misbehaves again, would be to force him to watch The Witcher Blood Origin. It's torture. It's horrible. I mean, look, even the audio, like, how often do you get to see a score of 7%? Like, this is an astonishment. I would say that this is 4D chess in order to make Rings of Power plus Privilege look good. Because it does by comparison. Like, no, seriously, if you give me the choice, like let's say you invite me to your house, and I'm trapped there, and I gotta choose a movie to watch, and you're like, do you want to watch The Witcher, or do you want to watch Rings of Power? Rings of Power. Rings of Power. Put the Rings of Power on, please, put it. I cannot say a single good thing about this movie. Like, nothing. Here's the thing. Everything you know about the lore, everything you know about the IP, is either changed or doesn't exist. Like, including the first Witcher. Right? Like the whole ethos of The Witcher. And this is why they never even understood the author, right? Like, the whole theme of The Witcher is the rape of Poland, which is a historical thing which happened, right? And the Polish nation was constantly under attack by enemies and empires. And it tries to show how the people are dealing with that. Now, The Witcher is the perfect soldier. He is trained in order to fight monsters and things that other humans are incapable of, right? So he's kind of like the knight, if you will. He represents a highly trained mercenary or a highly trained warrior. But the problem is people fear him, right? So he's like really good at killing monsters, and because of that, people like having him around, but they don't want to live with him. So The Witcher is this tragic character that is nowhere welcomed. Now, that was in the original books, right? Like, that's the original thing. In this show, in Blood Origin, apparently the first Witcher wasn't even a human. He was an elf. And it wasn't, like, done through experimentation, trial and error, many people dying. No. It was like a couple of hours, they gave him a magic potion, boom, the elf is now the Witcher. Why would you do... Like, what? I get the impression that the people who wrote this, like, had to read the book. Right? It's not even the excuse that they didn't read the book. They read the book, they hated it, they hated every single word that they read, and they had to change everything. Like, everything. And I, like, at this point, I just don't understand, like, why just not make it something new? Like just call it something new, because it's a completely different IP. It's got nothing to do with The Witcher. And this is literally the problem why you have all these Netflix shows going broke, right? I would say that at this point, you would be far more likely to gain audience sympathy if you do something new. Like, you would get more butts in seats. If instead of calling it The Witcher Blood Origin, you would call it The Angry Elf and the Chica. And more people would be lenient and would watch that shit than if you use the name The Witcher. Like, the fan baiting is so bad that you do not give anything to the fans. There is not even bait there. Right, like, the idea of bait is that you at least put a little bit of meat on the hook or whatever. The hook is empty. Right, like, the fans are just mocking the way you're trying to fish for money. I have to say, like, the doctor of Henry Cavill, the doctor that is going to take care of his back, I have pity on that man. Like, he's going to have his work cut out for him. There is no fucking way that Henry Cavill is ever going to be able to walk straight again after this. Like, he carried the first Witcher. He literally carried that show on his fucking back for 3 entire seasons. Like, they're going on and they're saying, oh, well, he's a toxic gamer. He was arguing with the showrunners and he was carrying your show. He was putting food on those showrunners' table. Like, he was actually building up their names in an industry that's dying. Like, there is no more question about. There is no doubt in my fucking mind that without Henry Cavill in an alternative universe, The Witcher wouldn't even gotten a season 2. Probably wouldn't even gotten the second half of season 1. It is so fucking bad. It is so atrocious. And I knew that this was going to happen the moment I saw those actors going on and talking about why you should watch the movie. Like, no one said it's true to the IP. No one said it has a good story. No one talked about the villain. No one talked about it. No, like, literally what they were saying is like, oh, it has two men kissing. It's got diversity. It's got this actress which does sign language. You know, like these things aren't necessarily good or bad. But to me, it's shocking when you think that's the best foot forward. Right? Like in order to create a masterpiece, in order to create art, like all you need is two men kissing and then nothing else matters. Right? Like if you have that, then people are going to watch it. It's insanity. It's Californian insanity, right? Like, of course you can have two gay men kissing in a movie. But that doesn't make or break the movie. Like, you need a good story. That's the first important thing. And you know what's the saddest thing? Special effects cost money. Right? Like, you're limited by the budget of the special effects that you can do. Actors, hiring good actors, that costs money. Like, you can't get anyone involved in your production. It's expensive. The sets, they cost money. Right? The clothing, everything costs money. You know what doesn't cost a single penny? Making a good fucking story. Making a good story, like, literally, imagination is your thing. Like, if you have a person that's talented, you put them behind the keyboard and they're going to make a good story. I know dungeon masters online which do good stories for free. Like, you don't have to pay people in order to find talent. Like surely if you make an audition and you get online and you get like 10,000 people writing for you, and most will do it for free just for the opportunity to work on a show like that, you will find someone that can actually write a good fucking story. And you can have your diversity, inclusion, equity, all the Californian bullshit stuff in it. Like, it's not, the communists made a lot of movies that were solely based on ideology. Like, the entire purpose of the movie was to give you a communist message. Right? Like, that was, like, without communism, that movie wouldn't exist. And some of those movies are fucking good. Why? Because they had actual talented writers. They actually had talented people. They understood their fucking audience. And by the way, fun fact, like most communists that wrote good shit, they would hire capitalists to write the shit. Like, legit. Like, that, because we know after the communism fell in Romania, like many directors and writers and authors and musicians, they didn't believe in communism. They hated it, right? But it was a paycheck for them. And they did it in such a way that they knew, like, what are the counter arguments from their side, and they knew exactly what to attack, and they knew exactly what to get the people from their side who are against communism to actually enjoy those movies and be forced to watch them, right? Like, for entertainment. They were forced to watch them and get the communist message. But, like, the thing with the diversity, inclusion, equity brigade from California is that they hate people who do not think like them. They will never hire a writer that's like, for example, Henry Cavill, right? Like, I don't think, like, Cavill is woke, right? But he still managed to pull the show in the right direction, and they had their message as well. But that wasn't good enough. They had to get rid of him. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.